She was just a poor single mom struggling to survive. But the night she saved a stranger from a heart attack, she never imagined he was a powerful CEO, nor that this one moment would change her life forever. The evening was cold, the kind of chill that seeps into your bones and makes every breath feel heavy. In a small city neighborhood, Maria hurried down the street with a bag of groceries clutched tightly in her arms. She had just finished a long day of working 2 part-time jobs, her back aching and her feet sore. But her biggest concern was her little daughter, Lily, waiting for her at home with an empty stomach and a hopeful smile. Being a single mother wasn't easy, and life had been merciless since her husband abandoned them 2 years ago. Still, Maria kept moving forward because Lily was her reason to fight. As Maria walked past a quiet corner cafe, she noticed a man sitting alone at a table outside. He was dressed in a sharp suit, his silver watch glinting under the streetlight. At first glance, he looked like any successful businessman, but something was off. His hand clutched his chest, his face pale and sweat beaded across his forehead. Before Maria could process what was happening, the man collapsed to the ground. Her heart raced. People nearby froze, staring in shock, but no one moved. Maria didn't think twice. She dropped her grocery bag and rushed to him. Kneeling beside the stranger, she shouted for someone to call an ambulance. With trembling hands, she tilted his head, checked his breathing, and began chest compressions. The fear in her chest was unbearable. What if she was too late? What if he had children waiting for him, just like Lily waited for her? She pressed harder, whispering, "Don't you dare give up. Fight." After what felt like an eternity, the man gasped, his chest rising with a painful breath just as the ambulance sirens wailed in the distance. Relief washed over Maria as paramedics took over. She stood there in the cold night, her hands shaking, her heart pounding. The man was rushed into the ambulance, and before she knew it, he was gone. Maria picked up her spilled groceries and walked home, her mind still replaying the moment over and over. At home, Lily greeted her with a smile that melted away the fear of the night. Maria hugged her daughter tightly, refusing to let go. She didn't know who that man was, and she never expected to see him again. To her, he was just a stranger she had tried to save. One more soul fighting to live another day, but life had its own way of weaving fates together. 2 weeks later, Maria was cleaning tables at the cafe where she worked when a sleek black car stopped outside. A man in an elegant suit stepped out, followed by another carrying flowers. Everyone in the cafe turned their heads, whispering in surprise. Maria froze as she recognized the man. He was the stranger she had saved. Only now, he didn't look pale and fragile. He looked powerful, commanding, and very much alive. He walked straight to Maria, his eyes softening when they met hers. "You," he said quietly, almost in disbelief. "It's you who saved me that night." Maria blushed, feeling all eyes on her. "I just did what anyone would have done," but he shook his head. "No," everyone froze. "You acted. You gave me another chance to live." He extended the flowers to her. "My name is Daniel. I'm the CEO of a company downtown. If it weren't for you, none of this, my company, my people, my family, would matter. I owe you my life." Maria's heart skipped. A CEO? She hadn't expected that. She thought of her small apartment, her endless struggles, and the holes in her worn-out shoes. Their worlds couldn't be further apart. She smiled politely and said, "I'm glad you're okay. That's all that matters." But Daniel wasn't done. Over the next few weeks, he found reasons to visit the cafe. Sometimes he ordered coffee he barely touched. Sometimes he lingered to talk. Maria tried to keep the conversation short. She didn't want false hope. Yet he always spoke with genuine kindness, asking about her day, her daughter, her dreams. Slowly, Maria found herself laughing at his stories, feeling seen in a way she hadn't in years. Still, life wasn't easy. Maria faced constant challenges. Her landlord threatened eviction when she couldn't make rent on time. Her job barely covered groceries, let alone medical bills, when Lily caught the flu. There were nights she cried quietly, hoping her daughter wouldn't hear. And each time Daniel saw the tiredness in her eyes, it stirred something in him. He wanted to help, but Maria was proud. She refused charity, even if her hands were blistered from scrubbing tables. One evening, Maria came home to find Lily sitting at the table with homework spread out, tears on her cheeks. "Mom, I can't do this. I don't have a laptop like the other kids. They laugh at me." Maria's heart broke, but she had no answer. She couldn't afford it. That night, she held her daughter and whispered, "One day things will be different. I promise." The very next day, Daniel appeared at the cafe with a small wrapped box. He handed it to Maria. Inside was a brand new laptop. "It's for Lily," he said gently. "Not charity. Consider it a gift." From one survivor to another, Maria's eyes filled with tears. She wanted to refuse, but when she thought of Lily's face, she whispered, "Thank you." That night, when Lily opened the laptop, her joy lit up the whole apartment. Maria saw hope in her daughter's eyes again, and she silently prayed for strength. As weeks turned into months, Maria and Daniel grew closer. They shared long conversations after her shifts, walking together under the streetlights. Maria learned Daniel had been lonely for years. Despite his wealth and status, he longed for real connection, not the shallow relationships built on money. With Maria, he felt human again. With Daniel, Maria felt safe, valued, and for the first time, not invisible. But challenges remained. People talked. Maria's co-workers whispered that she was aiming too high, that a CEO would never love a poor single mother. Daniel's business partners warned him that being with Maria would damage his image. The gossip reached Maria, and it stung. One night, she told Daniel, "Maybe this isn't meant to be. We're from different worlds." Daniel took her hand firmly. "Maria, you didn't care who I was when you saved me. You saw a man in need. That night, you gave me life. And now, I want to spend that life with you." Maria's heart trembled with fear and hope all at once. She had built walls around her heart, afraid of being abandoned again. But Daniel's eyes were steady, filled with sincerity she couldn't deny. Their love wasn't easy. Maria continued working hard, determined not to lose herself in Daniel's wealth. Daniel made sure to respect her independence, never pushing more than she was willing to accept. Slowly, their worlds began to blend. Lily adored Daniel, calling him her hero, and Daniel treated her like his own daughter, patient and kind. The turning point came when Maria's landlord finally issued an eviction notice. She stood in their small apartment, packing what little they had, tears streaming down her face. That night, Daniel showed up. "Enough struggling alone," he said softly. "Let me stand by you." "Not as a CEO, not as a stranger you once saved, but as the man who loves you." Maria broke down in his arms. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to lean on someone. Together, they found a new home, not luxurious but warm, filled with laughter and hope. Slowly, Maria's fears faded. She realized love wasn't about money or status. It was about kindness, trust, and the courage to heal together. Months later, in the same cafe where their story began, Daniel knelt before Maria with a small ring. The entire cafe held its breath. "Maria," he said, his voice steady yet emotional, "you gave me back my life. Now I want to spend it giving you and Lily everything you deserve. Will you marry me?" Tears blurred Maria's vision as she whispered, "Yes." The cafe erupted in cheers, but all Maria saw was Daniel, the man whose heart she had saved, and who had saved hers in return. Their journey was far from perfect. They still faced challenges, moments of doubt, and the struggles of blending two very different lives. But they faced them together, and that made all the difference. In the end, Maria realized something powerful. Sometimes life tests us with unbearable hardships, but those hardships prepare us for the blessings yet to come. She had thought her world was falling apart the night she saved a stranger on the street. But that night was the beginning of a love story that changed everything.